What do you think? I got a new toy. Have you seen these before? I never even heard of it until recently. I had a new idea for a craft, and it's using these little tiny chalkboards. They're called chalk chips, and I believe they come in packages of 12. So the project that I want it to do, I want it to put a ribbon through it, and of course there's no hole on it. So I was looking for a tool that I could use to put a hole in this, and I did a little research online, and what I found is it's called a Crop A dial, and it's made by We Are Memory Keepers. Comes in what looks very close to the Couture Teal handles. It's got all kinds of little gadgets. So it's actually made to punch holes here and here, and then here you can use for to put eyelets in. If you don't know what an eyelet is, let me show you. So like the little ring that goes inside the hole there. Those are eyelets, and here are the pieces that go together to make the eyelets. So you can use it for that as well. I'm gonna have to get me some eyelets so that I can try that out as well. But for today, I don't need any eyelets. I'm gonna use the Crop-A-Dial, which I'm super excited about. Handy dandy tool. It's kind of heavy, but not too bad. And like I said, it has a smaller hole and a larger hole. Let's see, one is 3/16 and the other one is, can't see, the other one's 1/8. So we're gonna use the larger one because I want to thread some ribbon through it, which I just realized I'm missing a piece of ribbon, so I'm gonna have to go grab one more piece of ribbon. So I want to put a ribbon through it, and then I have these that have been hanging in my office for a while, and it has this little clamp. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little clamp right here that I had a picture hanging on. So there were two of these with a little picture on here, and it was really cute, but I wanted to change it up. So that's what we're going to work on today. So I will turn my camera down so that we can get started and you can see what I have going on. Let's see, I think that might work. Okay. Grab my other piece of ribbon that I forgot. Okay, so to get started, the first thing I want to do is I want to chalk a design on the little chalk chip. I've decided that I'm going to use, I don't know if you can see what it says here, but it says Farm Sweet Farm. So that's what I'm going to put on the chalk chip. But first, I'm going to go ahead and punch my hole. So to do that, I just slide the chalk chip in. Can you see what I'm doing? Slide it in. And it has this little handy dandy stopper, so you can slide it back if you want your hole to be further into the center of your whatever you're punching. But I have it set where I want it already, so when I slide this in, that's going to stop it And then when I punch my hole, if I want to make multiple of these, they will all be in the same place. So, got it up against the stopper, and I'm just going to squeeze it. And there we go. Handy dandy. Got a nice little hole there, and the little piece came out. And now we have a hole for the ribbon. So that is as easy as it gets. Move this aside. I just washed this, so it's not super sticky, so I'm not gonna go and fuzz it again because I've already fuzzed it and used it before I turned the live on. So I'm gonna be using the same one again, which is one of the great things about these transfers is that you can use them over and over again. So I'm just gonna line it up on my chalk chip, try to get it somewhat in the center, and make sure that the sticky around the screen is stuck down. I have my white chalk paste that I've already stirred up. And I'm gonna use a mini squeegee because this is just such a small little project that I think that one will work best. All right, so I'm gonna be using the bright white chalk paste, and I'm just gonna gently glide it across the screen. You don't have to press down hard, just glide it over until the entire screen is covered. So if you're watching and you've ever used this Crop-A-Dile, leave me a comment below. Tell me what you have it for and what kind of projects you make with it. Because I think it's really cool and I want to do some more projects with it. I'd love all of your ideas. So now that I've covered the entire thing, I'm just standing the squeegee up and sliding it across to remove the excess and replacing it into the container. This is one color, it's small, so it's super easy to do and really quick, so it doesn't take a whole lot of time. So now we're going to reveal our project by lifting and pulling off. There, I'm going to place that in my pan of water so that the chalk doesn't get clogged in my screen. And our chalk chip is ready to go. Farm Sweet Farm. And it has the hole in it. So I'm going to set that aside for just a minute and let it dry a bit. In the meantime, I'm going to work on this a little bit. So I wasn't too impressed with this little bow that's on here. But I do like the burlap, so I think I'm going to take it off and I'm going to use it to help me make my own bow. So it's on here with a little tiny black zip tie thingy, so I'm just going to cut that off and pull it off. So see, it had like just a little zip tie on there, little black thing. So I cut that off. And then it has a little piece of burlap around the center that I don't want. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that so that it'll free the entire piece of burlap and I can use it for myself. And these frames, I believe I bought at Hobby Lobby, but it was several years ago. I've had them for quite a while hanging in my home. Okay, so I snipped that. And I'm just going to pull this apart. It's got a little bit of glue on the back where that piece of burlap was attached. They had it looks like they had hot glued it or something. So I want that to come loose. I'm just going to throw this little piece away. I don't need that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down the center. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. The burlap is a rough, textured product that gives a lot of character. And so if it's not perfectly straight, that's just more character. So it's perfectly fine if it's not exact. Does make some little fuzzies though. Okay, so now we have 2 little strips of burlap to use to make our own little bow. So I'm gonna do this. It's not your typical bow, but if any of you know my mom, you can ask her that I am terrible at making the typical bows that have all the little loopy loops. She's tried to teach me. She's really good at it, and mine always come out looking really pitiful. So if I want one of those kind of bows, I always just ask her to do it. But this is the kind of bow that I like to make, and I'm going to use this burlap. I've got some wired buffalo plaid. Has a wire in it so you can make it stick or curl or do whatever you want. So I've got a couple pieces of that. I've got a piece of twine. I've got a couple of pieces of small buffalo plaid ribbon. And then I got a couple of pieces of just this white ribbon. They're all different kinds. This one's kind of a satin and this one is not. And of course we have the burlap and stuff. So they're all different kinds. They're all just left over from other projects that I had. You don't need very much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with these bigger ones and I'm going to build from that. So I'm going to put them crisscross like this. And then I'm going to come back with the next biggest size, which is going to be the burlap, and crisscross again. And see how it's curled up and stuff? That it doesn't matter. It's going to be fine. It's going to look cute, I promise. It gives it some character and a little bit of fluffiness. So then I'm going to go back with the white ribbon and keep my pattern going of crisscrossing like that. And then I'm going to go with the last one, the mini buffalo plaid. And you'll notice they're not all the same length either. I didn't measure them. I just cut little pieces off. And when we're done, if we need to, if we have some that are too long, we can just snip them. Okay, so now that I have them all layered like this, I'm going to use my twine to tie it together. So I'm going to put the twine right over the top and hold it down, flip it over so that it all stays together. And I'm going to tie it as tight as I can on the back side with the twine. Like that. Okay, so now the twine is going to hold it in place. You can flip it back over and you can see what we have here. So we just have these ribbons going every which way. We can move them around and adjust them however we want. I just want to make sure that some of each of them is showing. So I'm just going to arrange them a little bit. Okay. So now I'm going to hold it up to my little frame and see how this size is looking. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue it right here on this clamp. And it might be a little big. So this is going to have a little ribbon on it and it's going to be hanging from the clamp like right here. So I think I'm going to trim it just a little bit so it's not quite as wild and large. So let's see. I obviously didn't grab the best pair of scissors for this because they're not cutting very well. And I do have better scissors. go. Then let me trim this side a little bit. And this side a little bit. Like that. Okay. I think that's going to be a little better. There we go. Yeah, I think that'll be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the thin or the mini buffalo plaid for my chalk chip. So I'm going to fold it in half and then kind of roll the end up a little bit so that I can make it fit through this little hole that we made. Okay, so now you have a loop on one side. Can you see that? You have a loop on one side and then you have the little ends over here. So I'm going to take the ends and pull them through the loop like this. Okay, so now this is what it looks like. You got your little ends right here that we're going to put in the clamp. So I'm just going to fold this over a little bit. That way if I ever want to use this later for something else and I want my ribbon to be longer, it'll still have the ribbon on there. And I won't have to cut a new piece. But for this, I only need a tiny little bit for the clamp to grab onto. So I'm going to put it in the clamp like that. And that's cute, but it's still, oh, sorry. So put it in the clamp like this. And that's cute, but it's still kind of plain. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bow that we made and hot glue it right here. So let's give that a try. Let's see, which way do I like it better? This. I think I like it like that. So I have my hot glue gun heated and ready to go. So I'm going to squirt some glue on here. And just put it right on that clamp. Okay. Pull glue strings off. And this is what we have. What do you think? Is it cute? I think it's adorable. All right. So this has been fun. This is not my usual craft that I do on Sundays. I will be doing another craft tomorrow for my usual Facebook Live craft. But like I said, I just got that new tool in and I wanted to try it out. And this is what I bought it for, is because I wanted to be able to punch a hole in this chalk chip. So we have the chalk chip, the bright white chalk paste, and a little bit of ribbon and hot glue, and that is all that we needed. And you could put any little small design on this little chip to go with your decor, and you could change up the ribbon any color you like. This is just what I had handy, and I really liked it, and so that's what I went with. But you can make it whatever colors you need to go with your decor. So I like it a lot, and I'm happy that you came and watched me try out my new tool, the Crop-A-Dial. Fun, easy tool to use. I purchased it online from Michael's Craft Store. I don't remember how much it was. I want to say it was like maybe 20 bucks or something like that. If anybody wants the link, let me know, and I can put the link in the comments or whatever. So that you can purchase that if you need to. And don't forget, if you've used one of these before to make craft projects, I want to know what you did. What did you use it for, and how did it turn out? Did you like it? because I definitely need to make some more projects with that, and I'd love your ideas. So if you have not already found my craft group, it is called the Hen House Crafting Club. Sorry, I got tongue twisted. It's right on Facebook. You can search for Hen House Crafting Club. Click the join button. That's where I share all of my crafts that I'm working on, and that's where I would love for you to share your crafts with me and with the rest of our community, so that we can share ideas, swap ideas, and you know, just get ideas and tips on how to do the projects that we want to work on for our home. So this has been fun. Super quick little project. It's all done. I appreciate you joining, and I hope you'll join me again tomorrow. You guys have a great Saturday.